Everybody, I am so excited to see you all tonight. It has been 1 week since we had our last live stream. I feel like, we're not connecting as much, but I hope that you enjoyed the multiple live streams that we had, or live chats, premieres that we had this week. I think they were pretty awesome. So we're going to talk about them tonight. So let's dive right in. But Arien, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone. Hey. How's it going?
I see a lot of people here in the chat, so I ask you to click the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification every time we go live. And let's get started talking about it. So we had two awesome member profiles this week. What did you think?
I thought it was great to see people who have taken to carnivore, lost so much weight, and just are like living vibrant lives. And it was interesting that both of them, the guy, I think, was it Kassan was his name?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was already like really hardcore with the exercise and stayed with it. And the other one, geez, now I can't remember her name. But
Ebony.
All it takes is 2 days and I forget everything.
What? Wait, what premieres? Did we have premieres this week?
No, and I definitely watched them. That's the crappy part. But Ebony's was like the weighted hula hoops and stuff. It was like they've found ways, or they already had ways, and kept those ways with carnivore of keeping that exercise in, and they've been making tremendous amounts of progress.
Mm-hmm. And they're like an amazing testament to the fact that exercise, while wonderful, does not get you those weight loss goals that you're looking for.
Oh yeah, because Kassan was already doing all that stuff, and it was not going for him.
Yeah. First of all, I cannot believe at 6'5" and 100 pounds heavier, he was running.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand how that's even possible. How you did that once.
Yeah. And that that Christmas run, that was like
the turkey
a 10K,
trot.
a 5K, and a 1K.
Yeah.
Better man than me.
Yeah. Well, I know there are definitely people who are into the turkey trot, but it's usually just one, not all of them. So I don't know.
Oh, so all of those individual things are turkey trots, and he did the turkey trot trifecta.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Like around me, there's a turkey trot around Prospect Park, and I think it's just, I think it might be either 5K or 3K, and it's definitely like a relaxed thing. So, yeah. But, it's something like, it is a good idea, I guess, if you feel like you might pig out on Thanksgiving, because, it's not, I would imagine it's not comfortable to go for a run, with a full stomach, so it can kind of keep you from getting too crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the exercise, it really does help. It's not everything, but it can help.
Yeah. And Abigail is excited about the weighted hula hoop. Did you order one, or are you thinking about doing it, Abigail? Let us know. A couple of, like maybe a year or so ago, I was in the laundromat and some guy was there with a whole bunch of hula hoops. I guess he was selling them, but there was like a freakish rainstorm and it was too rainy to even walk across the street to my building. So we all were just sort of in there waiting. And so, he handed out hula hoops and, everybody was like trying it. And I was like, man, I could not do it at all. But when I was a kid, I used to do it all the time and for, so long. And I was like, I can't believe I can't get this going like once. Yeah. So I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. So definitely, Abigail, get one. Let me know, how you do. Please take video. I think inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, that it I think hula hooping always like it looks easy until you actually try to do it again and you realize, like you said, haven't done this 4 years. I'm so out of shape. Like hips aren't even used to moving that way anymore.
Speak for yourself.
Mine aren't used to it.
Yeah. Oh, Jocelyn has added it to her Christmas list, the hula hoop. So awesome.
Nice.
Please, Jocelyn, you have got to take video. I really want to see.
She wants to see y'all fail like she failed. That's what that is.
No. I want to see who. I
don't
want
believe the
tips
hype.
on how to do it. I want tips on how to make it work. But I just also don't want more, like failed exercise equipment around the house. So I don't know. I'm just imagining a hula hoop like gathering dust in the corner, and it's just big and in the way.
So you want them to figure it out and then give you all the tips so you can finally be assured that you'll use it and it'll work.
Yes,
and then you'll
exactly. Yes, exactly. So Erica says belly dancing will fix those hips. Yeah, that's a thought too. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So, but I love that Ebony was so focused on maintaining her workout routine and really enjoying it. So, she just like loves dancing in her kitchen like everybody does, and really like made it a whole workout with the with the hula hoop and the dancing, and and found a way to like get serious fitness in at home. I know a lot of us feel like, I can't get to the gym or I don't have time, and but I would challenge you that you have 10 minutes to dance in the kitchen. You have 5 minutes to do a hula hoop, a little set of hula hoop,
right?
Whatever the verb is for that.
Yeah, I don't. 5 minutes to hula hoop, 5 minutes to hula. I don't know. It's one of those. But
you've got hoop time.
You must prioritize hooping.
Yeah, there you go.
And I would say, even for the folks like me who like aren't about to dance in the kitchen, aren't about to hit the hula hoop, like not breaking that out anytime soon. But whatever it is that you do, especially all those things, they're all calisthenics basically. You don't need equipment. You don't need to prepare. You just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I actually think about it, I just walk around and I go, there's my pull-up bar. And I'll hit some of those. And then I'm done. I go back to doing what I was doing. But like I have done some physical activity. I've lifted my body weight like 8 times or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that for me, that's what it is for me. I've never been a gym person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you have
Kassan to it, and then I don't do it.
Yeah. And then you have Kassan on the other end who, built a gym in his home and, has serious equipment. But I think he said he went to, like, Goodwill and looked around for stuff. Like, he found it around, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, unbelievably expensive to build, like, like a setup at home. Anybody here have like a gym at home or equipment at home? Let me know in the chat. That would really be great to know. So what else did you think? What were some of the other highlights that you thought from the video?
That Kassan was. He said his blood work was great, but he was pre-diabetic. That struck me because that like.
No, he said he was pre-diabetic before he did carnivore, and that turned around.
Yeah, but he also said like, even when he was heavier, his blood work was all good, but he was pre-diabetic, and that's like. Mm-hmm. We separate those two, but they're really not separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess it's just though that like the insulin resistance hits everybody different. And
Yeah.
with him, it was the gaining weight and getting diabetic faster, but like he didn't have other problems. His blood pressure was fine. His cholesterol probably was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was just interesting that like it was so like there are other people who have had like probably the exact opposite, like gained a bunch of weight, but as far as they can tell, blood sugar's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe their blood pressure is up real high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And then I don't know, again too, I think doctors don't always treat pre-diabetic like it's important, you know? So it's kind of like an afterthought, like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. You're pre-diabetic. All right, see you next year.
Right.
And yeah.
They'll just tell you like, well, try to lose some weight. They won't tell you how because they don't
Yeah.
know half the time. But just try to lose some weight and come back and we'll check it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't end up diabetic.
Yeah. But you will, because it's a chronic progressive disease that never goes
Right.
away.
Right. If we don't do anything about it, it's going to happen. But we're going to pretend that we have an idea of what to do.
Yeah. Now, do you have the radio on where you are?
Oh, no. Friends in the other room watching TV. I can close that though. Be right back.
Okay. So, I see that, let's see, Esther, you say you have a treadmill, an exercise bike, and hand weights, and you were thinking about getting a jump rope. So I've often thought about a jump rope, and I've gotten it, but, every time I do it, like, it really bothers my knees. So I would just say be careful. That's all. But it would be awesome, to have like, be able to incorporate jump rope. And I know as a kid, I used to love that. Definitely. Miss M says she has an elliptical machine, hand weights, and a vibration plate and a yoga mat. Nice. And Angel Life has used 4-station stacked weight machine. It was too big for her house when she moved. So for Christmas, she got her husband a set of resistance bands and wall anchors to body weight exercises. Wow. Gosh, you guys are really set up, huh?
Yeah.
And Miss M has a jump rope, and Portia,
she's probably talking about the doctors.
Oh yeah. Right, Portia's yeah.
Yeah.
So so back to the blood pressure, the blood sugar. It could.
Yes, it helps everything. It helps everything.
Oh my God. So yeah. So you're gonna have to get in there and moderate. But no, seriously though, your blood markers. It is really important to, pay attention to those. But I was really pleased. Hey, you're a moderator, Arien. I think you're the only one. You're gonna have to deal with that.
I mean, well, okay. So I know I think of when I see WAP.
No. I know what it is. Just delete.
Well,
just delete. You're a moderator. You're the only moderator. No, I don't think so.
I gotta open it back
up. So no, but seriously, I thought that was really great to hear that his blood markers really improved. That was actually something I forgot to ask Ebony about. But I can only imagine that there was some improvement. And, the other thing that struck me about both of them was, how easy, like, they did their routine. So, they didn't get really complicated about it. They weren't really focusing on, on macros, on, calories or anything like that. They just, kept it really simple and just focused on the things that they like to eat. And, and that's really important because you're not gonna, I don't know. It's just hard. I mean, maybe this is just a common human thing that we like to overcomplicate things, but things can get really complicated, and then it's overwhelming and it's too much, and we quit. I loved how Kassan just saw a video, started the next day, and like 4 months later, he's down nearly 100 pounds and doing great, and there's no problems. So that's how we want it to be. But when it can be that simple when you're not, trying to do weird things because you heard about it on a podcast.
Right. And the way he described like all the things he eats, and it was just so simple. It was just, it was like what he said when he wakes up, he has like basically bacon, hamburgers, and I forget what the other thing was. Oh, probably eggs. But like that was it. And then he was like, and dinner's a steak most of the time. And that's like, it's like that simple. And you asked about electrolytes, and he was like, no, I don't do that. Oh, and it's black coffee in the morning. Like, I do think that simplicity helps keep us on track.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it almost gets to a point where like watching the YouTube stuff or checking people's Twitter like just pushes you backwards, because it just gets you thinking more. Oh, well, can I tweet this? Can I do this? What about this thing? Oh, I didn't know about this. I probably need to eat more of that now.
Yeah. And they both too seem to really appreciate, the Black Carnivore community, not to like get more answers and to look for more ways to biohack, but just, the community itself, to be around people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my thought about like what we do is probably the biggest part of it, or at least one of the biggest, maybe one of two, is like the education and the reinforcement.
Yeah.
And once a person's educated, like you do reach a point where there's not much else you need to learn. This is a really simple way of eating. And it's just, you need to see other people doing it. You need to be able to help other people, probably that reinforces you as you're helping them. And that's a big part of what this community does.
Wow, Portia, you are amazing. Squats and push-ups don't require equipment at all. Going to get back to that. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So, I always say that, and then I never seem to get down to the floor. But yeah, that's absolutely true.
You know what? At least like squats are good because you can literally do them whenever. Like it doesn't even require you to like get in position. Like anytime you have to stand somewhere for 30 seconds, you can hit a couple squats.
That is true. That is true. I had a friend who used to, you're supposed to brush your teeth for 2 minutes, right? And I used to time it so that I would, do the whole mouth for 2 minutes. And so he would get into a squat position and hold it while he brushed his teeth for 2 minutes. And I was like, wow, yeah, there you go. Why am I not doing that?
That's an idea.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. I see some likes and clicks and subscribes. Come on, guys. Keep hitting the like button. Yeah. So any other thoughts that you had?
Talked about the simplicity, the exercise.
I loved how stylish. They both are in their different ways. Kassan has this that classic men's style. Yeah. If you look through his Facebook group, it's like, dude, okay, here's some good looking, stylish people that just look good all the time.
That picture with the blue suit and the sneakers on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I actually, when I was looking at Ebony's page 2. There was something about her that kind of reminded me of Janet Jackson from Rhythm Nation, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
I was a big fan of Janet Jackson, big fan of Rhythm Nation, the whole look. I once, when in LA, I pulled up at a stoplight and Janet Jackson was driving the car next to me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Uh-huh. Oh man, who is that other actress? Angela Bassett. I think she lived in the neighborhood where I lived. And so I would always take, my dog for walks, and she would regularly take walks in the neighborhood. So we saw each other like all the time. And it got to the point where she recognized me. So she'd see me and be like, hey, and it was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
I know. So yeah.
I saw a football player in an airport once. That might be it. I don't think I've cited any other celebrities.
And I saw Vin Diesel once. That was in New York, though, not in LA. But that was pretty awesome. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Angie Life says she's been walking outdoors daily since the last week in August. Awesome. And worked up to 7 to 8 miles a day and lost 12 pounds since she started. And I thought I was at goal weight when I started. So 143 to 131. Wow. But 7 to 8 miles. Wow. So what do you do during that? Do you listen to a podcast, or you just, just taking in nature and thinking your own thoughts? Let us know. Definitely.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
7 to 8 miles. And you're walking that whole time. You're not running. Mm-hmm. So that's a good chunk of time.
Yeah, that too.
That's probably some good meditative time if you want to use it that way.
Yeah. Well, I know I like this morning, I think I got about 8,000 steps taking my dog to the park. So, which is a little more than normal, but not that much more. But that ends up...
Do you know what that translates to?
No. I probably could look in my Fitbit, but no, not off the top of my head. But it ends up being like half my walking for the day. Mm-hmm. Hey, Delisa, oh my God, thank you for the super chat. And she's gonna go dust off her weighted hula hoop. Yes, please. Nice. I definitely do that. Yeah, Erica, walking will definitely help and be a really amazing exercise. So the other thing that I really enjoyed too was just how upbeat both of them were. Not feeling like dragged down by what other people say and what other people think and what other people do. Like, they just take charge and make their own stuff. I love how Kassan cooks dinner every night. That's awesome. I'm sure there are lots of people out there and be like, yeah, I wish my husband made dinner every night for me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Or I wish my kids didn't complain about anything. They didn't seem to have any problems with the change in diet, and, that's awesome. Like, it's really great when, your family, supports you, and it's not a hindrance.
Yeah, like he was saying, his wife doesn't eat like him, but it sounds like he's kind of rubbed off on her, and she's eating a little better than she was. He said, oh, you know what else struck me? Random. Honey and coffee.
I know. I was like, did he make a mistake, or did he hear that? Because there are people that do that, but that is a very unusual way of sweetening your coffee. And yeah. And it has a unique flavor. Like, I did try it once when I heard someone say that, and I was like, this is not for me.
It's why I think honey works so well in tea, because the flavors go together. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't like that kind of sweet with the bitter in coffee. I don't like.
Yeah. But, everybody has their own taste, right. So... I think my dad even does that, puts honey in his coffee. I don't know.
That's, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good energy out of the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at Ebony's. I glanced through a couple videos. Definitely a lot of Rhythm Nation going on.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I think, I mean, for sure, this is my, my heyday, you know how you kind of get sort of stuck with your best decade and, so like musically and stuff. So
You're like, I'm not letting this go. This is my era
yeah,
forever.
yeah. So late 80s, early 90s, like that's it. That's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see. Esther says, I've attempted to walk, but it seems so boring, especially on a treadmill. I prefer to walk outside because I like to look at trees and feel the breeze. Gonna get back to walking because I feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The only way I could make a treadmill work would be like watching a TV show that I really, really like.
I did that in the early days when I first moved to LA. For whatever reason, it was going to take like a month to get cable on. And I didn't want to miss Beverly Hills 90210 or Melrose Place. So there was a gym in my neighborhood and it was really cheap. It was like $25 a month. So I thought, oh, well, this is what I'll do. I'll go to the gym, I'll work out and watch the shows while I'm on the workout machines. And, they've got the TVs there. So I didn't really think about like 2 hours on the elliptical or whatever, but I did it for several weeks. And that was how I watched my shows. So yeah, that can be enough motivation.
And let's just pause for a sec. 25 a month was cheap to 8A. Really cheap.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, if you were back then in New York, oh come on. Back then in New York, it was like $700, for a 6-month membership to a gym. I mean, it was not cheap. So
Jesus.
you get out there, yeah, and $25 a month. I mean, that was like, in comparison, it's like, yeah, sure, I can do that.
Meanwhile, the one time I joined the gym, it was a retro fitness. It was like $10 a month, and I got mad at paying that after 6 months, and I canceled it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
$700 for 6 months.
Yeah.
So that comes out to a little over $100 every month. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So in any event, I was able to keep up with my shows, and that was good. Yeah.
But yeah, if I was gonna walk, it would have to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that walking inside every day could work for me.
Yeah.
And treadmills take up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I used to, well, I don't know if anybody here has ever done this, but there used to be these plastic exercise suits that you would wear that would make you get really hot inside and sweat a lot.
Oh no, the Martin
Lawrence
during, he caught a heat stroke running around in one of those.
I nearly did. I was on the treadmill, and usually I would only wear the pants because it was just too hot and I couldn't wear the top. But this time, like, I was trying to lose weight really fast, and I had the top on, and I walked for like maybe 3 minutes on the treadmill, and all of a sudden I felt like so weak and like my arms weighed 1,000 pounds, and I was like, I knew I had to get this shirt off, but I couldn't even lift my arms up to pull it off over my head. So I finally just grabbed at the neck and I tore it open.
You Hulk Hogan did.
Yes. But that let enough cool air in. It cooled off my body, and I started to feel some strength again. And I tore it off my body. It was that horrible. So, yes, I absolutely believe that he got heat stroke, and I was well on my way. After just a few minutes of exercise, it really wasn't even that much. Thank God I had on a shirt underneath it, But, yeah. And then, maybe like a year ago, I was in the park and I saw this older couple, a man and a woman. who were both wearing the full suit, top and bottom. And I was thinking, man, how do they manage that? Because only one time did I wear the whole suit, and then I had to, destroy it in the process. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Because I can't imagine, like, being in something like that where, like, it's making me sweat, and I'm, like, in my sweat, and I'm feeling, my whole body feels sweltering hot.
Yeah.
I don't think I could manage that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even sitting in the hot tub for too long, I start to overheat pretty quickly.
Oh, God, yeah. And I took a Bikram yoga class, and, like, after 10 minutes, I was like, I can't do this. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I see in the chat that we have created a carnivore love connection. So 2 North Carolinians are now 25 minutes apart. And
Nice.
they will soon be sharing like a cow share. I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, you ought to.
Mm-hmm. So, Esther says she thinks people condition their bodies to walk in those death suits. I don't know.
So that's what it is. You just need the practice.
I don't know. I don't even think I would have been able. I couldn't even get off the treadmill. I could barely move. It just took all the strength I had to just tear it off my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But in any event, forget about these crazy, schemes to lose weight, these crazy gimmicks. Just eat carnivore. Just enjoy the journey. Yeah.
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 Just
absolutely.
give it some time, and it'll happen.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually really excited for the interviews that we have coming up. So I really appreciate all of you. I've definitely been reaching out as I see people with really interesting stories. I've reached out and asked for you to give your testimony. And anybody, if you would like to, and you feel like you have something to share, and I haven't reached out to you, please reach out to me. Feel free. It's fine. My email is ede at blackcarnivore.com. But I think you'll be really excited to see the things that we have coming up. We have a lot of really interesting interviews. And then I have been interviewed by a couple of people that I think they're also going to be very interesting to you. So many of you may have seen the Carnivore Yogi interview that came out last Friday, I think. So that might be definitely good to check out. And then the author of the book Sacred Cow, Diana Rogers, she had interviewed me, and that hopefully will be coming out soon. And thank you, Erica. I just did my roots the other day. But hopefully the interview will be coming out soon. And her movie is coming out soon as well, and that is hopefully, I think, in January. And so she's going to be coming on the Black Carnivore Podcast in January as well. So there's just a lot of good stuff. I got to send out another newsletter to keep everybody up to date with all the links and everything that's happening. But this. And then, oh my God, the biggest news. You guys are going to be super excited about this. I am so excited for this. One night only for Christmas special. Deborah is coming back. Now, please, thumbs up, hand clapping emojis, whatever in the chat if you are excited about this. But we are all really excited about it. She's just been very overwhelmed with work commitments and stuff at home, and and hasn't been able to come on, but she is so eager to. And we're hoping that in January things will calm down enough for her to have a bit more time. But in any event, she's going to come back for one night only, and it's going to be on the weekend too. So it's going to be a Saturday night, Saturday, December 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please mark your calendars. And I will send out notification, but definitely, be aware and get ready for that. And let's see, Erica says she's going to start walking. She's been inspired. I'm Brown. Thank you. Yes, I love it. My hair is always on point.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well,
and the makeup.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I see Esther asks, is it typical for those eating the carnivore way of eating to drop more inches in weight? Do you think that is why some become discouraged and give up before reaping the benefits? Yes. And that was actually why I titled tonight's live stream Inches versus Pounds, because, that's precisely what can happen, where people lose a lot of inches but don't see much weight loss on the scale. And if you're not, if you're wearing like baggy clothes all the time, or you're not really, not wearing anything, or, like just staying
right.
in,
if you're in your pandemic pajamas, you may not notice.
Either way, moving up or down, you might not notice, but it may be a better idea for you to pay attention to the tape measure than to the scale. Yeah.
I tell this story all the time. Like, I got down to, I lost maybe about 30 pounds or so, and then was basically stuck. And the scale was not moving, but because I was checking my measurements, specifically for me, it was my waist most of all, I could see that I was still losing fat.
Wow, that's awesome.
Without that, I would not have, I'd have just thought, okay, well, I feel good, so keep the faith and stick with carnivore. I mean, I hadn't reached my goal weight by that time, but yeah, it was, I was basically, as far as weight, I was stalled for a while, but still losing fat. So yeah, that's why I'm always, I think I did it during Ebony's premiere, said that the tape measure, get a tape measure. And I noticed Kassan said the same thing. Like, he has like 2 or 3 scales in his house and he doesn't even use them. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. Portia says, yeah, that happened to me in the beginning. I felt the scale wasn't dramatic, but people kept saying I was getting small and I had to buy more clothes and I was losing so many inches. Yeah, if you have to buy more clothes, you've lost weight. Yep.
If your underwear falls down, which happened to me, it's time to buy new underwear. And,
right.
That's, honestly speaking, like, I didn't think about, you think about buying new clothes and new wardrobe, but you don't necessarily think about buying new drawers.
It's a thing.
But at a certain point, it was like, these are unwearable.
Right.
Yeah. And I have to buy some new ones. Yeah.
Like, when that, with mine, they weren't like falling off, but the elastic got like, it was too big, so it was like wavy around my waist. I was like, what is this? And I realized, oh, it's extra material because I'm not as big as I used to be. But my jeans did get that way. The jeans would like, I wouldn't even, one day I just tried it, just straight pulled them down, and yeah, they just came down without even unbuttoning, unzipping anything.
Yeah. Not a great look.
No.
Yeah.
No, way too big. When they're like, oh, when you're trying to use them with the same belt and your pants are all bunched up at the waist because you're smaller, yeah, it's another way you know.
Yeah, that too. So, I think it's really important and helpful to try to look good through the whole journey. When you look good, you feel good, and you project, a sense of confidence. And I think there's just something to feeling good, when you're all like bummy or you haven't like done yourself up. I don't know, for me anyway, I just don't feel as good. Like I don't try it's hard, I don't put my best foot forward. So it is really important for me to keep up the things that I can. And even if you can't buy a new wardrobe or buy new items, like you can always keep your hair up and nails, face, whatever. You can do those types of things to help you to stay feeling good. And then, I mean, I don't know if they're still doing this or if it's still available, but tailors were also a great option. And that really changed the way the clothes hang on your body. Just taking in the waist was a great thing to do. Yeah. And not super expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that for a while, and then they got too small again, and I had to just give it up at that point.
Well, I think you can only go down 3 sizes, and then you have to buy new clothes. Like, there's only so much sewing and taking in can do.
Right, and it got to the point, for me, it was like, so I was getting my my dress shirts taken in, and I realized, like, what I actually needed was just about a brand new shirt. Like, you can't just take in the waist. I need you to take in the waist. I need you to bring the shoulders in because I'm a little smaller there. Like, the neck may need to be a little different too. It was, like, and the sleeves too. Like, it was just too much to try to get done at a tailor. At that point, I'm spending the cost of the shirt at the tailor. I can just buy another shirt.
Yeah, but absolutely.
For the first round, though, it worked.
Yeah. So I see Audra says, she asked if anyone has tried a DEXA scan to measure fat loss. I have not, but I think that's a great idea if you have access to it. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I've never researched how to get one done or who does it. The only thing I know Bliss, who's usually active in the YouTube and also in the Zooms. I think she's gotten them before.
Yeah. Jocelyn
I've always
says.
Thought about
it. Jocelyn was saying too much altering can take away from the look of the clothing. Yeah. It would be great to, get a DEXA scan. If it's not too expensive and you have access to it, definitely do it. And Audra says she's down 2 dress sizes, but, the scale's not moving. Yeah. So who cares? Because dress sizes, like, that matters. That's a big indication.
And this is why, like, I really want to break myself out of the habit of saying losing weight and to say lose fat, because that's what's important. That's what you actually want to happen. And to just stop the reliance on the scale. Even just saying lose weight kind of implies looking at the scale.
Right.
Right. Because, it is frustrating, but you're right. It shouldn't be, because actually the scale does not matter.
Yeah. And
if you're 200 pounds and look good, no one's going to care. They're going to say you look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I saw a picture on the I think it was on Instagram, and it was like, what do you think about when you see a picture of a woman who is like, I don't know, 250 pounds or something like that. And then it showed a woman she's a Dutch woman, and I think she's like close to 7 feet tall. And it was just kind of like, weight doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you anything. And you really have to focus on how you feel, your body fat percentage, your muscle and all of that. It's helpful to remember that. I forgot
Yeah.
too. You know what? I lived in Amsterdam for 3 years, and they are some big people. Like I would see multiple times a day somebody who is approaching 7 feet tall. And I think in all of my life in America, in New York, I don't think I mean, maybe once a year I'd see somebody who was like 6'5", but yeah. So they are some tall people.
Right. Which completely changes the way the weight looks on them. Like I think the rule of thumb is like for every inch a person has on somebody else, that's about 10 pounds. So yeah, 250 on 7 feet is a huge difference from 250 on 5'3".
Yeah. Yeah. So, Bayet brings up an interesting point, which I really liked, which is don't fear buying smaller clothes, being afraid to get bigger again. So there is a little bit of that fear in there. Is that something that bothered you, Arien?
Oh yeah, totally. Like especially when I went down to now, sometimes I wear medium. Like most of the time I wear mediums and sometimes it's large. Like I was a large in high school. So, but also I wore bigger clothes in high school. So now the fashion has changed and men are wearing clothes that fit more. And to be 34 going on 5 and to pick out a medium and to like actually think like it feels wrong. Like this is not going to fit. And I put it on and it does fit and it feels like, all right, well, you'll probably gain like a tiny amount of weight and this will not fit anymore. Like it's a fluke that it fits today.
Yeah.
That was like a huge and it still kind of is. It doesn't feel real. It feels like no, at any point I'm going to get back to what is for me a normal size, and that's going to be bigger than this.
How long
So yeah,
have
it
you
feels like
been,
a risk.
How long have you been at your goal weight at this point?
At the goal weight, probably at least all of this year, and I want to say maybe like the back third of last year too. So a year and change.
Right. I think it just takes time to get to that point. So I think is probably still kind of fresh for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and even so that's the goal weight, but like being this shape, like I've lost body fat since like over this year.
Okay.
So my size has still been changing this year. So yeah, it's still fresh and it's like I was like you talked about altering clothes, I was getting that done over the summer.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
so that was the time when I was realizing, oh, I'm still getting smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very fresh.
Nice.
And yeah, there's just this worry that like, and I don't like wasting money. We've already talked about it and made fun of me for that before. So like,
who likes wasting money? I'm not in that club.
I'm stupid about it though. Remember the coffee thing?
Oh yeah, the $4.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you remembering the amount. Like A pays attention to my stories really well.
I do. They're good stories. Good stories.
So yeah, that like the idea of like spending like real money on clothes that I won't fit because you can't be that small. You don't fit this. That's not your size.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's even worse for you guys because you have more sizes in between what our sizes are.
Yeah. 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 Wow. So let's see. Audra says she's never done a DEXA scan, but she has one of those scales that's supposed to measure body fat. So, but she questions how accurate they are. Yeah, I think that they're pretty inaccurate. So, you wouldn't be able to compare that to what you would get in a DEXA scan. But you want to focus on trends, and you want to make sure you're using that scale the same way. So, like if you pee first one morning but you don't the next, you can't compare that. And I think if you shower, that can dramatically change the body fat composition, because like I don't know, the something about the way the signals that's sent from the scale that goes through your body and then bounces back, like it's altered by how hydrated you are. And so when you take a shower, you become more hydrated, and so the numbers are going to be very different. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So just do it the same way every time and look for a downward trend. If there's an upward trend, then you got a problem.
Yeah. But you can't take one of those and say, well, based on this scale, I know that I'm 18% body fat.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, making sure that you pay attention to the inches and not the pounds, I think is really the best way to go. And, and get off the scale. And if you think about it, like, I don't know how old the bathroom scale is, but I feel like, it was not commonplace to have one in the house, before like the 50s. So, you might not have known how much you weighed, except like at the county fair, when you're weighing the hogs and, going to the carnival and having someone guess your weight or something. So, it's important not to get too caught up with something that was not even a thing, for a long time.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I had never thought about that before, but yeah, I doubt that you could go to the 20s or, like you said, the 50s, and every house has a scale in every bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people probably did not know how much they weighed. You go to the doctor at least once a year. It's getting checked then, and in the meantime, you don't know what you weigh, and you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Assuming you went to the doctor. You remember doctors made house calls up until the 70s. So, you might not have gone to the doctor or had a yearly, checkup exam, Yeah.
You might not find out what you weigh unless the doctor is already telling you have a weight problem.
Yeah. So I don't know, kind of let it go. But, you have to use your best judgment about what kind of information is motivating to you and what is, debilitating. So, I say to people, like, if it's helpful to you to get on the scale every morning and you can look at that number just as data, just as information, and you don't have an emotional attachment to it, then, that can be fine, because it can be really interesting to know that your weight is staying the same, but your dress size is getting smaller over the course of a month. Like, that's actually pretty important information you're learning there. But if you're getting all, like if there's a whole emotional reaction to it, then that's not good.
Right. And that with a lot of things that are kind of, they can be tedious, they can be, they can appeal to our tendencies to want control of things. Excuse me. And yeah, the scale is one of them, tracking is one of them. So I always tell people, like, if you're going to do that stuff, like, you need to make sure that it is not affecting how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, if you can manage it, then sure, go ahead. I don't care. Like, if that works for you, that works. But too many of us, and this is why I am generally against the scale, period. Too many of us like see that number and we just want the number to go down. And every day you're checking to make sure the number goes down. And now you're looking up what is the right way to use the scale. What if I put it here? What if it's on the carpet this time because the number's not going down? Oh, that's a thing. I have taken my scale out of the bathroom into the hallway to see what my weight was there.
Because gravity is different in the bathroom versus the hallway.
Well, you figure you're pushing down on the
Yeah,
scale.
there's the space-time
and
continuum in the
there's the
hallway.
cushion.
Changes. Yeah.
Right. Like the Q32, the plutonium that is inside the scale is going to react differently to being on that cushiony carpet versus that hard tile or linoleum floor. And
this is like when I was at Weight Watchers and people would, literally undress to bra and panties to get on the scale. And it's like, look, it doesn't matter what that number is. You know, you have or you have not lost weight. Like, stripping down is not the point. And nobody wants to see this, you know? There's like men here. Like, put your clothes on.
No, it's too important. This is no time for modesty. The number has to go down.
Yeah. So, it's really important. But I think that actually what you said there about, control and tracking is, is really important. And, when, I spent so much time when I was tracking, when I was following keto and like paying attention to my macros, and I spent so much time trying to make my macros fit like a specific ratio that required me to eat unnatural things because I couldn't just take like a steak and say, okay, this is going to be this amount because, each steak is different. And so I couldn't know. And so I felt more confident having like a protein shake with like coconut oil added to it to get that perfect ratio than eating like a real piece of meat. So, not good.
Yeah, these things lead to unnatural living. That's what that was. That was, God, poster child for unnatural eating. I can eat steak. I can afford steak. It's not that that's the problem. It's that I don't know exactly what's in this steak, but I do know what's in exactly a half cup of this protein powder.
Yeah. Oh, and I love this, what Portia just said. Don't weigh your self-esteem. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And I love that. Don't weigh your self-esteem. Please put that on a poster, on a Post-it. Put it up in your bathroom mirror. Put it right on the scale, actually. Put it on the scale. And don't worry, it doesn't weigh anything. Yeah.
Rip it off before you weigh yourself. That extra micron of weight? No, we're not doing that.
It doesn't weigh anything. Hey, Victoria, great to see you. And Audra, ditch the scale. New paradigm of healthy eating calls for a new paradigm to measure fat loss, muscle density, and definition in health. Just trying to figure it out. Yes, love that. And thank you. Oh my God, thank you for the super sticker. That was so awesome. I love the hippo flipping backwards and raising your thumb up in the air. So that's awesome. Yeah.
That I really think we have to. I love that way of phrasing it. A new paradigm of healthy eating calls for a new paradigm for measuring fat loss, muscle density, and definition of health. Yes. Muscle density and definition and health. Yes. I think we need to be thinking differently. We need to be trying to do this in a way that is much more that's much more conducive to what we know to be true. And it's that tons of people, we see tons of people who lose weight and they're not happy with how they look, or you look at them and you're like, this doesn't look like the healthiest way to lose weight. Like, fruitarians are some of the skinniest people ever. And I'm not gonna say they look gross, but it doesn't look that great. Like you can lose weight or you can be healthy, and we also know there are a ton of carnivores who can talk about being stalled, but still getting smaller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to build muscle. When you give
Mm-hmm.
your body what it needs, it's going to build muscle, and that muscle is denser than fat. So it takes up less space, but it might weigh the same amount.
Erica, I love it. Yes, I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. I got to figure out, I just made a note for myself, so I got to figure out a graphic that goes with it. But yeah, don't weigh your self-esteem, Black Carnivore. Join the, oh God, what's it? Join the movement, Black Carnivore.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Just put the scale with the circle and the slash. Do you need something more clever than that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I probably not. Yeah, just a bathroom scale. So, but yeah, so I think it's important to, lean into the ease of carnivore and just, again, start letting your senses guide you. So when you try to do unnatural things, it leads to unnatural outcomes, that are hard to manage and hard to predict. So, that's why it's best to just kind of let your appetites drive what you do. And once you take out the sugar, you don't have to worry about, your appetites driving you to put a coat over your pajamas to go down to the corner store to get some
Wait, what?
candy in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, which is a thing that happens. There have been times, I don't know if I've actually done it, but I've had the thought to just throw on a coat and some shoes, run to the gas station and buy some chips.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we've all gone out in our pajamas. Very Big Lebowski. I mean, once I saw that movie, I was like, I'm fine now with going out in my pajamas. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you, Angie Life. Another super chat. Another person who's proud to go out in her pajamas.
That's what super chats mean from now on.
I don't know. But yeah, so this is really awesome. I love this. And I hope that it is inspiring to so many other people to, to really embrace what is so powerful about the carnivore diet. And we don't have to be crazy about it. And also, what I like here is, I don't know, perhaps it's because we're, older, or perhaps our life experiences, but I feel like there isn't, in our community, there isn't talk of this, insatiable desire to get really super, super thin or unnaturally thin. And I think that can be really, really dangerous and really, it can really mess up your head. So I'm pleased that there doesn't seem to be, that vibe that moves through our community. But still, it's important for us to really just stay connected with our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I never knew anyone who at the time was doing that sort of stuff like this. I don't know. Does it count as anorexia if you're overworking out, or is there another word for that?
I think that's bulimia, but the purging is in exercise. You can be bulimic by purging food, or by over exercising, or by laxatives, or all three.
Okay. So
but I don't know. Yeah.
I've seen people who are already stick thin and go to the gym and it's just treadmill for an hour and a half. And I'm like, do you think you need this? Because you don't.
Yeah.
That's excessive, and they're probably doing it 5 times.
I don't know. Maybe they're watching Beverly Hills 90210 in Melrose Place. I mean, don't throw shade like that. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't keep up with the cable bill, and so
maybe they just moved from New York, and they're Comcast is taking forever.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So I didn't pay attention to what was on the TV, So I am making an assumption here, but I've seen it a few times. I don't know how many people are out on their cable bill at any given time. But yeah, just keep it simple. Like
Mm-hmm.
keep the eating simple and keep your thoughts about your progress simple. Do you feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Do you look good? Then you are progressing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, on another note, I'm really excited to say that I got a pork shoulder today, and
Mm.
I put it in the oven for 8 hours, and it is now super soft. And when we get off tonight, I'm going to put it back in the oven at 500 degrees to get the skin to puff up and crisp up, and then it's
Hmm.
done. So I will have dinner.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But I have
I
never cooked anything for like 9 hours.
really.
Yeah. I mean, not in
Oh,
the oven. Not in the oven.
oh, but like in the crock pot you have.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
that's like something plugged in. The oven itself has literally been on all day.
So your heat hasn't needed to work nearly as hard as normal.
True. And it snowed yesterday. So it's, it's cold here.
Hmm. Yeah, it's cold here, but we haven't gotten any snow yet. Um, what was I gonna say?
Yeah,
That
there's snow out all over the park still and like in the fields. So it's good day.
okay. So I guess you had to use the oven because probably it was too big to go in the crock pot.
And, I want it to be crispy. I feel like things don't get crispy in the crock pot. I mean, even
No.
when you take them out and try to put them in the broiler, you can't get back to that crispy.
Oh, really? It doesn't work?
I don't know. I haven't found it to.
Hmm. I've never tried. I think normally,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just accept when I cook something that way that it's not getting crispy, and I haven't even tried to get it crispy afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all I did, I cooked this yesterday, and I've been eating on it all day today. Spare ribs, neck bones,
Yum.
and pigtails, all in the same pot. A little bit of water, pressure cooked for like 3 hours, and it's basically this like pork stew stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been really good.
Nice. Yeah, I gave my dog a pig ear from the pet store. Oh, man,
Mm,
she loved it. So that was a good thing. But yeah,
that's
I'm
nice
going
of
through
you.
a pork thing now. What was it we had said about pork that it can something about DAO inhibitors and histamine? Um, did
Oh
we
yeah,
say
pork.
that pork?
I think generally pork has more. It causes more histamine than ruminant meat, but I think we had said for you especially that really happened with the cured pork. So
Hmm.
bacon.
Right, but fresh pork was. I couldn't remember if we had said fresh pork could be a problem too. I mean, I've been eating it and I feel okay, but
Hmm.
and I've actually been craving pork, which is so weird. I don't feel like I've ever had that feeling before.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I have been craving it, wanting it. It is good.
And
So I'm
see,
getting the best quality I can. So sometimes it's good, but sometimes I'm just getting, regular old supermarket. So it was kind of like, and I'm in New York, so everything is expensive here. So the pork shoulder was 1.99 a pound, and it was like, wow, oh my
wait,
god.
199 is expensive
No,
for
no,
a
that's
shoulder?
cheap. Well,
Oh,
I mean, I
oh,
assumed
okay.
it was cheap. It's cheaper
Yeah,
than, the ground beef was three 99 a pound.
yeah. The only thing out of my three pieces, the only thing that was a different, that was lower than that was I think the neck bones might have been like $1.75.
Mm-hmm.
But either those or the tails, one of those was something was cheaper than $2. Everything else was like 225, 250 a pound. Yeah, so
God.
199 is
I
good
gotta
pricing.
get out of this city.
Dude, yeah, the Northeast is like extremely expensive, and then especially New York.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it.
I we It is not going well. It is not going well for people here. And I think that I read an article a couple weeks ago that 300,000 people had left New York City, had moved.
Oh,
yeah.
Was that like during the pandemic that many had left?
Yeah. And,
I bet.
maybe more still. And I hear, there's a moratorium on evictions. But when that lifts, we're really going to see the fallout. So I don't know. But in any event, yeah, a lot of people have left, and probably more still. Portia is inviting herself to dinner at your house, Arien, because you make such good food. It's not that far from North Carolina, right? So just head right on up. Just head up. He likes it when you just knock on the door. He loves unexpected visitors.
Right. Just show up. It's only like, what, probably 6 or 8 hours? It's all good.
That's not so bad. Yeah. Angie Life says stockyard pork has PUFAs. Don't care. So, wait, are you saying you do care or you don't care? I'm not sure. I
think she's saying she doesn't care. Like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's PUFAs in there because probably.
Oh, because that's the thing that Saladino's been talking about.
Oh, him too?
Yeah, he's been saying that it's PUFAs or linoleic acid that's specifically causing the problems, not honey or fruit or sugar.
Oh, yeah, that's what a PUFA is.
It's candy.
Polyunsaturated fatty acid. So what's the thing, what's the microplastic that's in the water?
I mean, that's bad. Estrogens. It's supposed to be estrogenic, the plastic. But plastic in anything is bad.
Yeah, but there's a thing for it that sounds like PUFAs, so that's what I forgot about. But
PEF, PEF,
maybe. I feel like it started with a P too. But Ken Berry was talking about it. Apparently, it's in Topo Chico, and a lot of people mourned Topo Chico that day.
Right.
It's not in Pellegrino, so I'm good. Me and my Pellegrino are just fine, even though.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, yeah. She was talking about actual PUFAs, and I do also feel like even with this meal, like it's been great, but I've been eating more of it than I would if these were cuts of beef that I made this with.
Really? Why?
I feel the pork just isn't as satisfying. So it's 8:20 today. I've eaten 3 times instead of twice. And each time when I was done eating, I was done. And then like 3 hours later, I want to eat again.
Curious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Do you feel
I've
like
been
pork
doing.
fills you up the same?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe even more so. I feel it just, I don't know. It's like hitting my soul in a weird way. It's like, this is so good. I made some pork chop this morning and it was like, I don't think I've cooked better. I have not made a more delicious meal. Yeah, and I deglazed the pan and simmered that down, mixed it up with the fat, and I mean, it was a gravy that was just so good. So, I don't know. I just feel like I'm doing better with pork right now. Yeah.
And he is having aftershocks.
So I see Ohio's Best Peach said he ordered a half a pig from an organic farmer and decided against getting any of it cured or smoked as much as possible. Yeah, nice. And Erica says pork doesn't affect her adversely, but a lot of people seem sensitive to it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And okay. And Audra is a snob for Iberico pork or wild boar. Yeah. Hey, if you have access to it, absolutely be a snob about it. Get the best stuff. Well, yeah, absolutely. So
Iberico. I don't know that I've even heard of Iberico.
I think it's from Oh wait, no, that's Bengalicida. That's the one from Spain. Iberico is some other heritage breed, though, I think.
I mean, it sounds like it would be Spain, but maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, Erica's saying everybody's leaving California, Seattle, and Oregon, and they're going to Texas. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's too expensive. Like, especially, like, those are already expensive places. Well, California and Seattle are. I don't know about Oregon, but maybe. But then, like, definitely in New York, too. So if it's, like, super expensive there and you're unemployed, like, a hard-to-live-in city just became unbearable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's happened. Erica, yeah, Saladino, the most expensive convoluted version of carnivore that you can do. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't forget confusing.
Yeah.
Like, it's changing on a regular basis. Now, he's not even saying carnivore anymore. He's saying hunter-gatherer.
Is that what he's saying?
Well, in that one tweet that we were talking about, I realized that he wasn't saying this is the perfect carnivore meal. He was saying, or way of eating. He said hunter-gatherer. So I wonder if he's like trying to softly ease away from carnivore.
Yeah, he's easing away from carnivore back into paleo. So we've come full circle after 2 decades. Going back to Paleolithic man. And what did Paleolithic man eat?
Yeah.
I don't know. So Esther says I need to pay more attention to what I'm actually eating because some meats don't satisfy me like others do. I do end up eating 2 or 3 times in that day. Yeah, you know, this is where tracking is helpful, where you just write down what you're doing and what you're feeling, you know, or your feeling response to it. And I know when I was initially losing weight, I got to the point where I did not want to pack snacks anymore. I did not want to have to think about food multiple times through the day. So I made a concerted effort to figure out what meals allowed me to eat and not be hungry again for 6 hours. And then I made note of those and made sure that those were the basis of my meals going forward. So, I really did just, experiment and pay attention. And for a month, trying different things, and I started to see, okay, like this is not a meal that's going to work. And this is a meal that's going to work. So, I encourage everybody to do that. This is how you're going to figure out what works. So, tracking to learn information and to observe is important. Yeah. Yeah.
And also it may not be a problem if you eat more often in that day. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know that that's a bad thing. You're still eating a super carnivore meal where your insulin should not be spiking much at all. Like, I'm not worried about this eating 3 times in a day. I have enough left that I'll probably finish this stuff off tomorrow, and then I'll have beef after, and I'll be fine. But I guess I basically said it. I don't think you need to worry about, oh, this thing didn't satisfy me, so I ate more that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Angel Eyes says they sell an Iberico cured whole leg at Costco for $99.99. So you should go get it. Try it. Let us know what you think.
I got to get a Costco membership first. I only have a Sam's Club.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, Saladino seems to have some kind of agenda, and it's not clear what that is, and it's not clear that it is, helpful to our community.
No.
Yeah.
That agenda is money.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're uncertain of what the agenda is, it's usually money.
Pretty much always.
Yeah, it's not a hard guess.
Yeah, it's not saving the world some other way.
Yeah. And yeah, Erica, it looks like that people are trying to come up with new ways to market carnivore, and it's frustrating. It's kind of like, if you're looking to make a name for yourself and money, go somewhere else, because like this isn't the place to make money. there's just not a lot of money to be made here, and that's okay. Just, just try to do it somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where that's a conclusion that a lot of people reach, and it has me like ended up saying like I don't know that carnivore really supports capitalism, like at least in the way we know it, because when it when you're really doing it like I guess like perfectly right, like you're just
Hmm.
going to a farm, buying a whole cow, then you never support the grocery store system outside of that, like you're getting
Hmm.
eggs from a farm, you're getting milk or cheese from a farm, and that's all you need. That's a lot less consumption than we're used to having with our food practices.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then these people want to teach something, but like, I do think like there's kind of a practical end to what you need to learn about being a carnivore.
Well, and I wonder about that myself too. Like, this year I've stopped consuming quite as much information as I did before. But yeah, I feel like we kind of hit, until there's like an actual, study being done on people who are actually following a real carnivore diet versus people who are vegetarian. Like, you know, as far as like, our communal knowledge, we've kind of gone as far as we can go.
Hmm.
Maybe Nutrition with Judy, like her new book, maybe, there is some new information, or new ways of interpreting existing studies.
Right.
But I don't know that it for the average person adds a whole lot more value in terms of how to follow the diet. Like, there's enough information if you're an average person. Now, if you've got something unique going on, then there may be some, more value to doing that
Hmm.
kind of research. But most of us will be served by just doing the basics. Like, if you go look at the two videos that I posted, How to Get Started and Common Problems, Common Solutions, that covers, most everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what I end up reading um, and watching a lot of now is stuff about what happens really when you're not eating carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do these diseases progress? What exactly is diabetes? That kind of stuff. It's not like well, carnivore does X, Y, Z, because we kind of
Mm-hmm.
know what carnivore does. It fixes everything, like just about everything. So I don't need like it'll be cool to have the studies, but um, with or without them, I've seen it work for myself. I've seen it work for other people. I know it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Erica, so timely that you should ask this question. Do we have a database of Black ranchers? No, but I am going to be interviewing a couple who are starting a ranch in Arizona. And they're working on that right now. And so I think I'm interviewing them probably this upcoming week. So in a couple weeks, I'll be able to put that interview out. So yeah, we'll begin. So they're actually not carnivore, but, I just kind of wanted to hear about, like, what it's like to be farmers, be ranchers, to, get into the whole animal husbandry and all of that. So it'll be interesting, that conversation. We'll see where it goes. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's going to be a good one. I can't wait
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
hear from them. And they're uh, they're running a GoFundMe right now, and I think I'm going to donate to it because I would love to um, buy from Black people when I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting eating all this food.
Yeah. So there are some black farmers that are producing some meat. And, in North Carolina, the person to connect with is Janae, otherwise known as at Whole Life 4, the number 4, you, the word you, in Instagram. and she has been working to create a farmers market with regenerative farmers in North Carolina. And she's doing that work with her church. And so she has identified some Black farmers to participate in the whole thing. But, it's not easy. Like, these people are busy, working hard on the farm. They're not, organized into, some kind of union. They're just small individual farmers doing their thing. So, so I think it's been hard to kind of like create a network. And I don't know if there is like the Black Ranchers Association of America. I don't know that there is such an organization. So yeah, it's a little bit hard.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
And Angela, so you're looking to move to Phoenix next year. So yeah, you definitely pay attention, because they're not up and running now, but certainly by next year, I would imagine they would be. So yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, and going to Phoenix, you're going to get all the insane deals that Miss M gets all the time.
Yeah, ribeyes for like $4.
Right.
All you can eat. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to get out of New York.
We knew of someone had shown us another Black rancher somewhere in the Southeast.
I don't remember.
I'm going to see if I can find them.
Well, anybody who, anywhere who knows of one, definitely let me know, because we'll reach out and ask if they'll be on the podcast,
Was that Hearthstone?
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar to me, but...
Oh, no, that's in Maine.
I forget
It was somebody in the... I must not have saved it. But yeah, we had found one, but then I think like we just couldn't order from them for some reason. I think they maybe didn't have anything in stock at the time.
Yeah. So yeah, as we find stuff, we'll definitely put it out there.
Yeah. And Erica, thanks for the Costco tip. So if I use Instacart, then I can order and have them deliver, and I'll never have to get a membership.
Yeah. Nice.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So I think we should wrap up, but this has been a great conversation. I so enjoy everybody. We, I think we really had some enlightening and heartening conversation. And I'm really, really excited about Deborah coming back for her one night only. So everybody, please mark down your calendars. I want everybody in the community to be there December 19th. I think that's next Saturday, right? It's not this Saturday. It's the following one.
That is correct, yes.
And then the week after that is Christmas. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so those of you...
gone so fast.
Yeah. And for those of you who are part of the Christmas challenge, I hope, you're doing okay. Definitely, remember to go hang out in the Facebook group and post in there, and let everybody know how you're doing. But, this is going to be a good holiday season. No going crazy this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody. So I look forward to seeing you again. So remember, on Tuesday, I will be premiering another video. This is an interview with Michelle Hearn, who is Run, Eat, Meat, Repeat, and she on Instagram, and she has written a book called The Dietitian's Dilemma about her story and also about carnivore. And I have an interview with her, and it's really fascinating. So make sure that you're there on Tuesday to to hear that. And then on Thursday we'll be back for the live stream. So looking forward to seeing you all then.
Yeah. Portia's asking for somebody's info. Who are we talking about?
The person who's coming on Tuesday, or is she talking about... Oh, wait, she might be talking about Janae.
Oh, it's
She's
yeah,
at
because
whole life,
actually,
the number 4, the word you.
it's actually the letter U because I just looked
Oh,
her up and
there
I
you
couldn't
go.
find it.
It's a good thing you looked it up then.
And then, yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Cool, it's in there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I will see you all. I see you all later, and have a great weekend. All right.
Have a good time, guys. Good night.